بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم رب زدني علما.
Okay, so the next thing I'll discuss about the rules. Like in the previous section, we discussed the why we generally go with multiple areas. As I said, to minimize the size of the database, to minimize the number of advertisements. Now, once we decided to go with multiple areas, now we need to follow some rules, like the designing rules. So like I said, if you remember in the previous basic topics, we have used only one area. So normally in what scenarios we can go with one area? Like if you have 30 to 50 routers, that's what Cisco recommend number. Let's say if you have 30 to 50 routers and each router is having, let's say 3 to 4 interfaces, so roughly around 100 networks. So you can go with one area. So any number less than 30 to 50 routers, we can go with a single area where you can just make all the routers in one single area, let's say 30 plus routers. And that area number can be any number. You can use either area 0 or you can use just area 100. So when you're using one single area, you can use any number. Okay. So let's say if my design goes more than 100 routers, like I said, if you have some 30 plus routers, I can go with any area number, like I can go with area 10 or area 20 or area 30. But when your design goes beyond that point, let's say I got 100 plus routers and each router is having 3 to 4 subnets. So it goes around 3 to 400 subnets. Now we need to go with multiple areas again. Because if you don't go with multiple areas, again, there are some problems which we discussed that will increase the CPU utilization. So those problems again come into picture. So we want our network to perform more better. So we need to go with multiple areas. So the first rule is whenever you decided to go with multiple areas, like 2, 3, 4, any number. So I decided to add some routers, let's say these are the routers, and I decided to go with another area. Like 30 routers here, 30 routers here, or 30, 40 like that. 30 to 50, that's what our recommended number. So let's say I'm adding 30 plus routers here in another area. Now, whenever you go with two areas, then the rule is the second area should be area 0. Which means I can go with area 10, any number you can use. Like we give some numbers for the areas. And the number can be any number, probably. You can use any number normally. But when we use two areas, then you cannot say I'll use area 10 and area 20. Now this is wrong. This is not going to work. So basically, whenever you go with two areas, one area should be 0. Means you can design area 10 and area 0. Or you can use any number here. But the second number should be 0, compulsory. So that is a rule. So if I say I'll go with 10 and 20, that is not going to work. So area 0 is mandatory whenever we go with 2 or more than 2 areas. So when you must have one area called area 0, when you have 2 or more, generally we call this area 0 as a backbone area. Backbone area where you connect all the other areas. Again, I'm coming to that backbone design in the next. Okay. So the area 0 is referred as a backbone area. That is what technically we call it as backbone area. Okay. So that is your second rule. So the first rule is when you use one area, use any number. And the second rule is when we use 2 or more than 2 areas, the area 0 should be present compulsory. Now the third rule is all the non-backbone areas. Now non-backbone means any other area other than 0. We call them as non-backbone. Like let's say I'm creating area 30, area 40, area 50 like that, and some routers here. So basically all these areas are called non-backbone areas. So when I say non-backbone means other than area 0. So the third rule says that all non-backbone areas must connect to area 0. So which means any other area should be using area 0 as a transit area. Now what that exactly mean? So it means that let's say I decided to design one topology. Let's say I got some routers This is how they are connected, let's say, the connectivity wise. And I got some routers like this. So assume this is just like a rough topology, how my routers are connected, let's say. So there are plenty of numbers, so I decided to go with multiple areas. So I decided that, okay, this part on the left side, I'm going to assign them in area 10. And then I decided to make another area, like let's say I decided to go with this part as area 0. That is good. And I decided that this part, maybe 30 to 40 routers here, decided as area 20, let's say. Any number you can use apart from 0. 0 is something must. And apart from that, remaining numbers can be any number you can use. And now I decided that this particular part, this part, whatever the leftover part, I want them to make as another area, to group them in another area. So let's say I'm going with area 30 here. Now probably this area is not going to work. And the reason is when you're designing, so every non-backbone area must connect to area 0. Means it has to connect to any one router which belongs to area 0. So basically it means is like every non-backbone area when you're designing, it should be like this. Something like this. So one router like this. So something like this. So area 0 should be the backbone area or the transit area, means when any traffic is coming from area 30, let's say 30 or let's say 50 here, it should go to the router. This is the router which belongs to 0. And from there it will go to the next area, maybe area 60, let's say. So it's not like it should go via area 0. It should go via any one router of the area 0. So if you see this design here, now this area 30 is not connecting to area 0. So it's actually connecting to area 20. And probably this area is not going to work. Means whatever the routes advertisements, they will not go to other area by default. So again, there is another solution called virtual link. We'll talk about that in the advanced topics, probably. But normally, as per the default design, this area 30 is not going to work because this is not as per the rules. So when you're designing, let's say this is your one design here, you can see. Basically, I'm just making this all head office router and the branch offices in area 0. And then I'm going to assign this router as a border router, and all the routers in this branch office, let's say this is on one of the city, connects to small towns here, probably in area 10, and this in area 20, and this in area 30. Now this design works because when this router 1, let's say, want to communicate with router 2, so it goes to this border router, and this router belongs to area 0 also. So from there it will go directly here if you have a connection, or it will go from this side, and then it will communicate something like this. So when you are designing this, you have to keep this in mind. So every non-backbone area must connect to the area 0, or normally any router of area 0 it should connect. So that is like the compulsory rule. So in this design, if I want to add more routers or in new area, let's say, I need to have something like this. So let's say this is how they are connected. I got some routers. Now I can assign this as one area, let's say area 50. So likewise, I can design one more area, area 70, some routers here, okay? So I'm not drawing the routers, but probably you can have multiple routers in that. And of course, this area is not going to work. So basically in this example, this area 30 is not going to work because area 30 is not connecting to area 0. So if you want to connect, again, you need to have one router connects to any one router. Now you can make area 30 like this. Now this will work if you design this way. If you don't do that, then it's not going to work. So this is again the rule you need to keep in mind. And the next rule is like you need to have at least one border router. Now generally the router which connects, now here in this example you can see this router is called area border router, because this router is a member of area 1. So one interface in area 1, and another interface in area 0. Means it is going to maintain it is going to receive the advertisements, LSS of both the areas, and also it is going to maintain the database of both the areas. Generally, if you verify show IP OSPF database, so this router will participate in both the areas algorithms. So you need to have at least one border router compulsory. You can have more than one also. And this border router is responsible for exchanging the routes between both the areas. Because there should be one common router which is participating in both the area advertisements, and that router we call as area border router. So how to identify the router which is a member of both areas? Like in this example here, so this is your border router. Because if you observe here, this router is having one interface in area 50 and another interface in area. So this is your border router. And here this is your border router. And here maybe this is your border router, okay? So typically border router is a router which connects to two or more than two areas. Maybe it is also connecting to one more area here. So it depends. Like you can see there are 4 areas it can connect, or 5 areas. It depends on your design. But generally when we say border router means it is connecting to more than one area. So you must have at least one border router compulsory. So at least one interface in both the areas which is going to connect both the areas in general. So this is one more rule you need to keep in mind. So finally the final rule is like the interfaces facing each other must be in the same area. So which means, let's say I got these 3 interfaces, 3 routers. Now these opposite interfaces, these 2 must be in the same area. So as per the design, let's say I'm assigning this in area 10, the opposite interface also should be in area 10. If I'm assigning this interface in area 20 or 0, let's say, the opposite interface also should be in area 0. But let's say if I advertise, design means advertising. If I advertise this interface in area 10 and the opposite interface is in area 0 or area 10 or area 20 or area 30, other than same area, the neighborship will not establish. So when they exchange the hello messages initially, so the hello messages, the neighborship will establish based on the hello messages, if you remember the two-way state. And in that, they will also exchange some additional information, and that information has to match, like the area mismatch. If there is an area mismatch, then basically the neighborship will not establish. Okay, so when you're designing, this is also one important thing we need to know. Of course, apart from that authentication, there are other parameters also should match. We'll see that in the troubleshooting section, probably, what are the parameters to match. But if there is a mismatch of areas on the opposite interfaces, then also the routers will not form the neighbor relationship. Like here you can see this interface and this interface in area 0. And of course, these 2 interfaces in same area, 51 here. And likewise, these interfaces in area 1 like that. And again, you can see these 2 interfaces in area 1 here. That's a rule. So the interfaces facing each other must be advertised or configured in the same area. So these are the 5 rules you need to keep in mind. So let me quickly summarize. You must have one area, area 0. Compulsory means one area if you're using, you can use any number, 10, 20, 30. But when we use 2 areas, you have to use compulsory 0. So 0 must be present. And every non-backbone area must connect to area 0. Means area 1 and area 51 cannot connect directly. They must connect via one router which is belonging to area 0. And you must have one border router compulsory. You can have more than one also, but minimum one border router which is receiving the advertisements of both the areas and responsible for exchanging the information or the routes between the areas. And finally, the last rule is the interfaces facing each other must be in the same area.